Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video, Beyonce is a terrible businesswoman. The real reason her businesses flop. Okay, we're going to check this together. Let's dive right in.
For 2 decades, Beyoncé has mastered the art of mystery, letting her music, visuals, and performances speak for her. But behind that diamond-polished image lies a truth the Hive rarely discusses. Some of Beyoncé's business moves couldn't even debut on the Hot Mess 100.
Bestie, you know you need to quit. Oh, Lord, here come the storm. Here come the hive, baby. Oh, Lord.
The Queen has dabbled in multiple industries outside of music, and while some had initial bursts of hype, many quietly fizzled, ended prematurely, or vanished without explanation. In today's video, we'll be discussing the side of Beyoncé's career she doesn't want the Beyhive to know about. But before we get into it, don't forget to scoop up something to munch.
Okay.
Announced her fashion line, House of Darion, in 2004, it marked her ambitious.
Sorry, I had to fast forward that because
When Beyoncé announced her fashion line, House of Darion, in 2004, it marked her ambitious leap from music to fashion. Co-created with her mother, Tacky Tina, Tina Knowles.
Bestie, you so damn messy. Don't be.
what? No way. I'm not gonna say it.
Talking about that girl, mama. We like Tina, don't we? We don't like the Tina Tacky. Let me go back and look.
The clothing brand was named after Beyoncé's grandmother, Agnes Darion. The line promised to blend cutting-edge fashion with soulful elegance. Owned by Beyoncé's and Tina's Beyond Productions LLC, a company that Beyoncé and Tina created, it featured ready-to-wear clothing that blended contemporary styles with vintage influences, particularly drawing from 1940s and 1970s fashion. It seemed like a great idea, especially since Tina had designed many of Destiny's Child's outfits. She clearly had an eye for fashion. So what could possibly go wrong? The early rollout included celebrity endorsements, high-profile runway shows, and retail partnerships with Bloomingdale's. Beyoncé also starred in the brand's Spring 2009 campaign, which was filmed in Bermuda. According to the New York Times, the brand's first-year projections were in the tens of millions, and after a few years, a junior line called Darion was launched. But from the start, critics weren't sold. Inconsistent quality and an unclear brand identity were two of the complaints. Reviews often described the pieces as overly busy, cheaply made, and off-brand for Beyoncé's image.
Now, this is the problem where celebrities live. We get it. They want to be multi-billionaires or have multi-businesses and whatever, but they want to also own something is their brand, right? But they want to own a business, and because they are here and they are here, so obviously they may not even be focused to go into details or to take note of whatever. They might check for the first few period or first few times, but also they are busy, right? Celebrities and whatever. But I really think that maybe her business too may be doing well, or maybe it's just kept by the side, maybe for the future or when she decides to revisit it to come back. Because look at lots of so many celebrities like Rihanna, Fenty Beauty is doing well. Is it Selena Gomez? Rare Beauty, right, is doing well as well. Who again? There are lots more other celebrities who ventured into the business side and are also doing well. Like they put their energy, their time into it, and they are doing well. Like Rihanna, she left music for business, and Fenty Beauty has to be one of the best foundation ever for oily skin, whatever your skin concerns. And if you talk about their production or whatever, is really good on the skin. I'm saying that for a fact because I own a couple of Fenty Beauty products, and baby, when I tell you those products are like you get what you spend your money on, I'm telling you. So I mean, I just think that maybe she would revisit and come back and do justice to it, because I mean, I love to see that lots of these celebrities, they put their energy, their time to their business and do it so well. What? Let me know what you think.
Some accused the brand of struggling to define its target audience, while others noted that the lack of a branding strategy adversely affected its market performance. By 2010, House of Darion quietly fled America and was distributed exclusively in European department and specialty stores. However, 2 years after that move, the brand was back in the US due to declining European sales, British Vogue reported. The brand's chief executive officer, Philip Davis, left the company, and Women's Wear Daily reported that several employees had their contracts terminated. And then the brand's junior line got discontinued, and House
Wow.
of Darion quickly followed suit. Beyonce never publicly addressed its demise. However, fashion insiders told The Guardian that the brand's failure stemmed from trying to ride too many trends at once, rather than building a signature style. So it's clear that star power can get your brand into stores, but it can't make customers whip out their credit cards.
Ain't that the truth?
In 2010, Beyonce launched her debut fragrance, Heat, through a licensing deal. It was an immediate success, with some reports indicating the fragrance earned $400 million globally. It was also named the best-selling celebrity fragrance brand worldwide. Additional releases like Heat Rush, Pulse, and Midnight Heat failed to match the original's numbers. And as the fragrance industry became increasingly crowded with celebrity scents, Heat lost its heat.
I see what you did there, Bestie. Yeah, I see what you did.
Don't do that. No way. For me, I just think that these businesses, they still have potentials to do well. What do you think? Because yeah, she might revisit them. It might just be now because she doesn't have time or not focused on it right now. But I still believe they have the potentials to do well. I still believe that.
Funny.
By 2013, Beyonce's perfume line was being heavily discounted at drugstores, a telltale sign that the brand's retail momentum had faded. Even the licensing company's sales reports began focusing on other celebrity partnerships, while quietly pushing Heat to the back burner.
Bye, Ashley.
In February 2019, Beyonce partnered with her trainer Marco Borges to create an organic, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free meal delivery service called 22 Days Nutrition.
We're gonna go 100% plant-based from now through Coachella.
I'm back on the stage after giving birth to twins. I was a woman that felt like my body was not mine.
We know the power of vegetables, we know the power of plants, we know the power of foods that are unprocessed and as close to nature as possible.
That sounds nasty as hell. It should also cost. The cost should be free because ain't nothing in it. What they feeding the people? Child.
Initially, the concept rode the wave of the clean eating trend. However, backlash was felt across the globe. A spokesperson for the British Association for Nutrition and Lifestyle Medicine said that the vegan diet plan could be dangerous because the calories were too low and could cause nutritional deficiencies. By late 2016, media coverage had dried up, and the program quietly restructured into a product-based site, complete with a meal planning feature. The subscription meal service, which was the original selling point, has since been discontinued. Beyonce's first major foray into athleisure, Ivy Park, launched in 2016 as a 50-50 partnership with Topshop's owner, Sir Philip Green. The debut collection was a hit, selling out in hours at major retailers. But in 2018, sexual harassment and racial abuse allegations against Sir Philip forced Beyonce to buy out his 50% stake. While this was framed as a power move, insiders told Business of Fashion that the scandal had already tainted Ivy Park's retail relationships. In early 2020, she relaunched Ivy Park under Adidas. The initial drops sold out instantly, but as the novelty wore off, sales plummeted. In 2023,
But let me just say this. For me, I may also look at it in a different way because it just came to mind. What if she's not actually doing this for money? She's just doing this just to set an establishment, right? That to see if, okay, is a good time to step into the business, or step into the business, or let me just continue focusing on the music career until one of the business peaks or whatever. Because she's constantly trying out new thing, whatever, this and that, and it will do well. Then before you know it will do. And that's how business works, right? Sometimes there'll be sales, sometimes there wouldn't be. But still, I still believe that if our business has the potential, as our business has the potentials of doing well. I mean, it's Beyonce, right? Obviously, maybe she's not yet fully retired from music, so the business per se might not be doing well the way people expect it to be because she's Beyonce. But when she eventually decides to venture into business, and or the business side of it as an entrepreneur, then why wouldn't it do well? Because she's putting her all, investing her time and energy to it. So obviously it will do well. Talk about the part of the money. Now, so far so good. Music is making her so much money. So the business might just be an extra, right? So she might not be too worried that the businesses are not doing well. But when she focuses, or she decides to focus more on the business, it might do well too. What do you think?
The Wall Street Journal reported that Ivy Park's sales had dropped by more than 50% year over year, generating about $40 million, which was far below Adidas's $250 million projections. The partnership between Ivy Park and Adidas ended in March 2023 after they mutually agreed to part ways due to creative differences and disappointing sales.
Bye, Ashley, again.
Of course, we can't forget the disastrous business venture known as Parkwood Entertainment. The company was initially founded in 2008 as a production company and teamed up with Sony Music and TriStar Pictures to produce the 2008 film Cadillac Records. In the film, Beyonce plays the lead role of Etta James. While she took home a Grammy for her rendition of Etta's song At Last, the film as a whole underperformed at the box office. BoxOfficeMojo.com stated the movie had a $12 million budget and only brought in approximately $9 million in revenue worldwide.
Dang.
But that still ain't bad if you had to ask me, because 12 million and 9 million, it's still not bad. I mean, they still tried. They did what they could do, but still focus.
Oh, can you say flop?
The following year, Parkwood tried to produce yet another film called Obsessed, starring Beyonce and Idris Elba. This time, Parkwood hit a grand slam, and the film made over $70 million worldwide with just a $20 million budget. Unfortunately, the reviews were terrible, and a writer for TheRinger.com went as far as to describe Beyonce as being a bad actress.
Ouch. Now, I've seen worse. I have seen worse. I ain't gonna call no names, but I've seen worse.
From there, Parkwood decided to expand its reach by becoming a management company and an imprint record label underneath Columbia Records. Beyonce brought on a team of assistants, executives, visual directors, creative directors, a general manager, a brand manager, and digital media experts to help her redefine her place in pop culture. After firing her dad in 2011 following allegations that he was stealing money from her, she managed herself through Parkwood and began releasing her studio albums and TV specials through the label. She signed several artists, including sisters Chloe and Halle Bailey. In 2023, Beyonce received backlash for the lackluster sales of Chloe's debut album, In Pieces. The album dropped with almost no public push from Beyonce. She didn't post about it on Instagram and didn't tweet congratulations. The album landed at number 119 on the US Billboard charts, selling only 10,000 copies in its first week.
Lord have mercy. Yeah. Did you say 10,000? Baby.
On Twitter and TikTok, the speculation got messy fast. Some fans accused Beyonce of quietly sabotaging Chloe's career by letting her debut project sink without the kind of visibility only she could provide. Others argued it was intentional distance, a way for Beyonce to keep her own brand spotless while Chloe absorbed the mixed reviews and underwhelming sales. Whether it was a calculated business decision or a genuine disinterest, the narrative took on a life of its own, and it was clear to most that the mentor had left her own protege to drown. As for Halle, well, Po Lil Tink Tink hasn't even released a debut studio album. One of the main
Stop it. Stop it. But let me just say this, right? I also sort of think that maybe she is not hiring, or she hasn't hired the right people that would also bring the vision to life, right? Because this is how things works, right? You might have a business and you might not be there. You have an idea, you have a business idea, and you have the right people that also have the drive focus as you. They would also bring your business to life, right? So I just think I also am thinking from that angle, but I just think that the business have the potential to do well.
problems is that Beyonce runs Parkwood the way she runs her personal brand, tightly controlled, highly secretive, and centered entirely on her own schedule and priorities. Emerging artists need constant visibility, media engagement, and creative momentum to break through in a crowded market. Parkwood artists rarely get consistent promotion. Chloe and Halle have admitted that most of Beyonce's guidance comes in the form of letters she sends them, which sounds less like active mentorship and more like a pen pal arrangement.
Beyonce said, I'm sending them a 4-page letter.
In other words, she's keeping her hands so far off her artists, you'd think they had a restraining order against her.
Bestie, you a damn mess. You know that, girl.
But it's just Beyonce, right? She hired people who could do this for her. Does she have to be there?
Another issue is that Beyonce's own mystique and perfectionism create an environment where the artists on her label may feel pressure to emulate her standards without having her resources or her platform. Instead of fostering individuality and unique branding, Parkwood sometimes comes across as trying to mold its artists into miniature extensions of Beyonce, which dilutes their personal artistry. The public rarely sees these artists' personalities or creative visions fully explored in a way that feels authentic and independent from their mentor's shadow. In the end, being a great artist does not automatically make someone a great label head. Beyonce's success has always been about her ability to control her narrative and operate on her own terms. Parkwood's shortcomings suggest that she has not built a system that allows other artists to do the same. A label requires consistent investment, robust marketing, and a willingness to let artists take risks and even fail publicly in order to grow. Without those elements, Beyonce's name may open doors for her signees, but it has yet to keep them open long enough for those artists to truly thrive. All of the tomfoolery puts a crack in Parkwood's brand. Signing to Beyonce's label should be a dream scenario with instant industry credibility, access to elite producers, and the stamp of approval from one of the most respected names in music. But after watching how Chloe's debut was handled, the dream started to look like a nightmare. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room.
Elephant?
When it comes to music, Beyonce's air of mystery is part of her magic. She is one of the last true pop stars who can disappear for months, then re-emerge without warning and bring the entire world to a halt. Her rare interviews, selective appearances, and carefully orchestrated album rollouts create a sense of grandeur that fuels her status as an untouchable icon. In music, the less she says, the more people speculate, and in that world, speculation equals hype. But when the same approach is applied to business, especially in consumer-facing industries like fashion, beauty, or lifestyle products, the results can be far less magical. In business, customers want accessibility. They want to feel like they are buying into a lifestyle they understand and can see themselves in. Brands like Rihanna's Fenty and Kim Kardashian's Skims thrive because the founders are visibly engaged, constantly talking to their audience and regularly showing themselves using the products in real life. In contrast, Beyonce rarely lets people behind the curtain, and that absence of personal connection can make her products feel cold or abandoned once the launch excitement wears off.
But I also want to believe maybe that is not a personality, right? And everybody's personality is different in terms of their business perspective and whatever. And maybe because she's got her hands full, maybe. But I also sort of like think maybe it's not a personality to like do what others are doing. So she might not in some way. My mic went off without me realizing. I just think that maybe in some ways it's not her personality. So in some way she may not be able to relate the way others do, and maybe we can just give her credit on that as well. What do you think? But maybe that's not her personality. Let's not fault her on that. What do you think?
Another challenge is the assumption that name recognition alone will carry a brand indefinitely. Beyonce's fame is immense, but even the most famous names cannot rely solely on celebrity status to drive consumer loyalty. Beyonce's ventures often seem to operate on the belief that the initial tidal wave will be enough to sustain them, rather than committing to the slow, ongoing work of nurturing a consumer base. There is also a relatability gap that her competitors have managed to close. When Rihanna posts a barefaced selfie applying Fenty Skin, or Kim Kardashian casually promotes Skims in a dressing room video, audiences can imagine themselves in the same moment. With Beyonce, there is often a disconnect between the aspirational image she embodies and the day-to-day reality of the products she sells. Few people truly believe she's running errands in an Ivy Park tracksuit, and without moments that humanize her product use, the items feel more like collectibles than essentials. Beyonce's name will always command stages, crash streaming platforms, and send entire stadiums into a frenzy. But in the business world, her track record tells a quieter truth. Again and again, the launches are explosive, the marketing immaculate, and the hype is unavoidable. Until it isn't. The lights fade, the partnerships dissolve, and the products vanish as if they never existed.
Oh, Lord. Well, I wonder how long sacred hair care will last.
It doesn't erase her influence. It doesn't touch her legacy as a performer. But it does reveal that even the most powerful brand in music can't guarantee staying power outside the arena. In business, as in life, star power gets you noticed. But it's strategy, adaptability, and sustained execution that keep you on top. And for Beyonce, that's a stage she has yet to truly conquer.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Relatability. People want her to be relatable the way others are, but maybe it's not a person, and maybe we shouldn't just fault her for not being relatable yet, right? But maybe she would grow into it and kind of be relatable as others as well. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.